To the mountainside, the shed, you know what she saw. But after her love,
Morning. Today I'm back at the Renaissance Festival. This time I'm out here with my two Fujifilm XT5 cameras. Along with that, I'm using the 70 to 300 millimeter lens, and also brought with me the brand new 16 to 55 millimeter 2.8 Mark II lens. I look forward to see how these two lenses perform, especially a week ago I was out here photographing with the Nikon system, so I'm going to see how the autofocus system and the images compare. The time is now 12:30 in the afternoon. I've had a couple of good opportunities to do some photography. I photographed the jugular today using the Fujifilm XT5 with the 70-300, and I was also able to get some shots with the 16-55. I'm doing all the photos wide open just to go ahead and challenge the system, but also the jugular in particular was in a shaded area, and so I needed as much shutter speed as possible. So I had a combination of high ISO and fast shutter speed with the wide open apertures. With the 70-300, it goes down to as much as 5.6, but if I zoom back a little bit, I can get to about 4.5. I thought the camera was performing well. What he's juggling is getting in the way, so I'm trying to see if the eye autofocus tracking is working. All the images I've taken thus far today have been with eye autofocus tracking. I had a nice opportunity to take some photos of a musical performance. They were really active on stage and used eye autofocus tracking for those images using the 70 to 300 millimeter lens. What I was doing is making sure I'd compose in a way where I get that box on the eye. I shot a few images of that, and I'm hoping to have something nice to show you. For the photos of the jousting, what I did is I placed the box on the face of the subject, and I was using the eye autofocus tracking for the images on the human being, not on the horse, because that's my main subject. Hopefully the autofocus tracking performed well. Felt like it was. I was able to keep up with them pretty decently. I've had an opportunity to go ahead and photograph the first bird show. I was able to photograph the owl. And a red-shouldered hawk, I believe it was. That was quite challenging with the system. I am using bird eye autofocus tracking. I am getting some blackout and kind of losing the bird as it flies by. One thing I've done with the Fuji, because the autofocus is quite a challenge to get it to perform well, is I've actually set it for even on continuous autofocus not to take a picture unless the subject is in focus. And because of the fact that I would lose the birds quite easily, a lot of times, the shutter wasn't tripping, and it was because I have it set to where it won't take a picture if the subject's not in focus. Right now, I'm hoping to find the parade. It starts in about 10 minutes. I'm gonna see if I can find a good location where I can get as many subjects as possible parading by me as I try to take their images. I'll be using the eye autofocus tracking unless it gets too complicated by the amount of people that are around the person that I'm trying to frame. And then I'll have to go ahead and turn the eye autofocus tracking off. Just had an opportunity to photograph the steel combat. Started out doing the face and eye autofocus tracking. Eventually I went ahead and turned that off and was selecting a box. And with the toggle switch on the back of the Fuji XT5, I was going ahead and placing the box on the subject that I wanted to photograph. I am using continuous autofocus and the motor drive on high speed. Continuous. We'll see how these pictures turned out. For sure, placing the box on the face of the steel fighter was the better choice, especially I had other fighters that were actually sitting around in the background, and some of the referees, I guess, or judges that are around the fighters, the face autofocus tracking would want to go to their faces. The best thing to do was to go ahead and select the box and place it on the subject that I was trying to photograph. I was trying to keep the shutter speeds high, which meant at times I was ranging in ISOs from 800 to 1600 to trying to keep a fast enough shutter speed. What I would do also is I would place the box on the subject for the focus and not worry about the other subject. So my main subject would be the one that was in the fight, or the one that was facing the camera. And if the other one was a little bit blurry or whatever, I wasn't too concerned about, because he was not my main subject. I had an opportunity to photograph the washing well winches. That's always fun. One of our favorite shows out here. I thought the camera performed fine. We'll see how the images turn out. Then I went ahead and came over to photograph the bird show again. And the autofocus performance was just awful with the Fujifilm XT5 using the 70 to 300 millimeter lens. I went ahead and I changed the autofocus priority so that the camera would feel more responsive and act more responsive. And it was more responsive, but pictures were not in focus at all. Just terrible performance. It did get rid of the lag issue that I was having before when I had the focus priority set to focus. So what I did is I changed it to focus release. And again, the performance was terrible. I'm really disappointed with the Fujifilm XT5, unless it surprises me when I get back home and look at the pictures on the computer. So I'm gonna wrap it up now. I hope you guys get something out of this video. I ask you to please like and subscribe, and I thank you for watching.